For more on this, let's bring in Leslie Rutledge. She is the Attorney General of Arkansas and the Lieutenant Governor-elect. The reason why we are talking to you, Attorney General, is because there is a law in the state of Arkansas called the SAFE Act. It's the Save Adolescents from Experimentation Act. It's currently tied up in the courts, but what it would do is restrict gender-affirming medical care for minors. Articulate for us the basis for your support of the SAFE Act.
Well, certainly. This was a law that we passed in order to protect children. This is to protect minors. Nothing in this law prevents someone 18 years of age or older from making that life permanent decision. But what it does do is protect children. The plaintiffs that we have in this case at the time were 9, 15, and 16 years old. Imagine a 9-year-old making the decision whether or not to be a male or a female for the rest of his or her life. That's why this law was important, was to protect those children. What the law doesn't do is prevent children from having access to mental health treatment. I think that's something that is being lost from my critics and from the critics of the state of Arkansas. We're allowing, we want these children to have access to mental health care, but what we don't want are for adults to allow those children to make a life-altering, permanent decision.
As we saw in Dr. Siegel's fine report just a moment ago, that for some people who are suffering from gender dysphoria, these medical treatments can be a virtual lifesaver, but for others, they can be an irreversible mistake. I read this study when it first came out in JAMA Pediatrics about 2 months ago. The youngest person to undergo a double mastectomy was 13. Is that too young to be undergoing a surgery like that in your mind?
Well, I think it's important that, yes, I mean, if it is for the purpose of gender dysphoria, then yes, because we want those young people, again, to have access to the mental health treatment, to have the love and support that they need. But what we don't want is for that person as an adult, just as we had someone testify before the Arkansas legislature that they had a double mastectomy, however, regretted it and was no longer going to be able to have children. This individual transitioned back. Where are those individuals talking about those who are transitioning back and their regret? Who's going to be responsible for those? We're only wanting to protect the children in the state of Arkansas, again, for making a life-altering, permanent decision, such as changing their gender. My 4-year-old has an incredible imagination. Mm-hmm. And, we know that children that are 9 years old that may be suffering from gender dysphoria, they need that mental health treatment. So, again, we just want to make sure we protect kids.
This is just a complete coincidence, but today in the New York Times, there was an extensive and very important story about the use of puberty blockers, and that we don't know everything there is to know about puberty blockers, that some of the side effects that they have, such as loss of bone density, could be permanent. That sort of concern has led Sweden and Finland to restrict the use of puberty blockers. England is considering doing it as well. The state of Arkansas would restrict it as well. But you're getting a lot of opposition from people who say the government has no business meddling in the medical affairs of individuals. What do you say to that?
Well, the government has a responsibility to protect the citizens of our state. And in this instance, we're protecting the children of our state. You are spot on that these other countries have already blocked those. The FDA, President Biden's own FDA, would not approve these. And so it's important that, again, we focus on the children. We make sure that they're getting whatever mental health treatment that they need, other issues that they may be combating, such as anxiety or depression. All of the medications are available to that. What is not available is for these adults to help these children and to facilitate a permanent life-altering decision that they may live to regret. At 18, if that same child wants to make that decision, they're allowed to do so under the law in Arkansas.
All right. Well, we will continue to watch this court case. The 8th Circuit Court of Appeals recently upheld an injunction against the SAFE Act. We'll watch it as it makes its way through the courts. And we will also watch at the beginning of the year as Arkansas makes history, swearing in its first female governor and first female lieutenant governor. Congratulations on your victory.
Well, thank you. And together, Sarah and I will be the first independently elected female governor and female lieutenant governor ever in the history of the United States. And I'm excited to do it with a longtime friend of mine, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
I've spent a lot of quality time with Sarah at the White House.
I imagine.
Attorney General Rutledge, good to talk to you. Thank you.